You ready to dive into something kind of crazy? AI and children's rights, it's like, whoa, the implications are massive. And some of the research we found, honestly, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It's a really fast-moving landscape. We're looking at academic papers, policy recommendations, even legal analyses, just trying to wrap our heads around how AI is shaping the lives of kids, for better or worse.
Let's start with something that caught my eye. Like, how do kids even perceive AI? Not just the tech itself, but what's going on in those little heads when they think about it?
It's such a crucial starting point. There's this Turkish study. They had kids like 6 to 10 years old finish the sentence. Artificial intelligence is like blank because blank, and the metaphors they came up with, wow,
It
fascinating.
wasn't all robots and stuff, right?
Right. So it kind of split into two main groups. Animate and inanimate metaphors. Some kids saw AI as like alive, robots, brains, even humans. But others saw it as lifeless. Things like power, danger, machines, even miracles in information manipulation.
Miracles and manipulation, that's a wild combo.
Yeah.
What's that tell us about how kids are processing this whole AI thing?
I think it suggests they're already picking up on the potential and the risks, even at that young age. And that's huge because as AI gets more and more into their lives, how they perceive it could really impact like their whole development, socially, emotionally.
True, true. It's not just about the tech being good or bad, but how it shapes how they see the world. And let's be real, kids are already swimming in AI, right? All the screen time and everything.
Totally. And you can't talk about kids and AI without talking about YouTube. I mean, it's everywhere, right?
Or
Especially with young children. And YouTube Kids, that's the platform made just for them. Well, it leans heavily on algorithms to recommend stuff.
so it keeps them safe and entertained, in theory. But I'm guessing there's more to it.
Yeah, see, the main goal of that algorithm is to keep those kids watching, maximize that viewing time, but that can end up prioritizing stuff that's sensational, even if it's not educational or right for their age.
So it's not just about clicks, but the kind of clicks, which could have consequences down the line.
Exactly. And the worst part is we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes with these algorithms. It's like a black box, right? We see what goes in and out, but not the actual decision making.
That lack of transparency, especially with kids, it just feels kind of risky, doesn't it? And speaking of potential downsides, what about smart toys? My niece got this doll that could talk back to her. It was like, wow, the future's here.
It is amazing technology, but those smart toys, they can mimic human interaction. And that raises some serious questions about children's privacy. We're talking devices that record conversations, store data, connect to the internet, all marketed to little kids.
There was that Hello Barbie doll, remember? The one that records what kids say and stores it online. It makes you wonder about, like, data security, how that info could be used. Could someone manipulate kids with that?
Those are the exact questions we need to be asking. Companies say they've got safeguards like parental controls, encryption, but honestly, the laws and ethics around data collection, especially for kids, it's all still catching up.
So we've talked about some of the risks, but it can't be all doom and gloom, right? There's got to be a way to make sure AI is used ethically with children.
Absolutely. That's where child-centered AI comes in. It's all about putting children's rights first in the design, the development, how it's actually used.
So it's not just about cool tech, but good tech.
Yeah.
How do we make that happen?
One really important tool is something called a Child Rights Impact Assessment, or CRIA. It's a way to systematically check how AI might affect kids' rights through its entire life.
Like a checklist. So the developers, the policymakers, they're thinking about those rights every step of the way.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just tweaking what we have. Some experts think we need totally new rules for children's rights in the digital age, like a whole new rule book.
The digital age update, what kind of new rights are we talking about?
Well, one is the right to actually participate in developing the AI systems that'll affect them. Imagine kids having a say when we design this stuff, telling us what matters to them.
Makes sense. Who knows better than the kids themselves, right? What other new rights are on the table?
Another one is the right to oversight and accountability when it comes to AI used in, kid spaces. Basically, making sure there are checks and balances. Someone's responsible for keeping things fair and ethical.
Like a digital watchdog, making sure nobody's breaking the rules.
And anything else.
Yeah, the right to access information about how AI is used in decisions that affect them. No more black boxes. Kids and their parents would have the right to know how those decisions are made.
Transparency is key. It's not just kids being aware of AI, but actually understanding it. What are some things we can do, like right now, to make AI better for kids?
One big thing is age-appropriate design. The interfaces, the language, the whole experience, it needs to be made for a child's level, you know. A 5-year-old uses tech differently than a 15-year-old. AI needs to get that. No more adult interfaces for kids apps then. What else?
Got to push for transparency in those algorithms. Let's see what's happening behind the curtain. Understanding how those decisions are made, it helps us spot any biases, any potential risks.
Knowing what's really going on, not just the final product.
Exactly. And education is huge here. We need programs that teach kids and adults about AI, how it affects their rights. Imagine teaching AI in schools, helping parents figure this stuff out at home.
So kids can think critically about AI, and parents can make good decisions about what their kids are using. That's a lot.
It is, but it's so important. And we can't forget about the good AI can do for kids. It can change so much, especially education. Imagine personalized learning, real-time feedback, engaging tools.
It sounds amazing, but I'm guessing there are downsides to AI in education too.
Of course. One worry is that we rely on AI too much and forget about human interaction. Teachers are vital, you know, for social and emotional development.
We don't want robots teaching our kids. AI should be a tool to help education, not replace the human side.
Right. And another issue is access, making sure all kids benefit, no matter their background or where they live. We don't want AI to make inequality worse. Everyone should share the benefits.
So it's about finding that balance, the good and the bad. And that's where that child-centered AI comes in again, right?
Exactly. Always putting kids' rights and well-being first.
Making sure AI is a force for good in their lives. And that brings us back to those new rights we talked about. Like kids having a say in how AI is developed, especially when it directly impacts them.
Giving kids a voice, letting them shape their own digital future. They shouldn't just be along for the ride. They should be in the driver's seat.
Instead of living in a world built for them, they get to help build their own digital world. I love that. What about that right to oversight and accountability? Who's looking out for the kids in all this?
We need ways to monitor how AI is being used and hold people accountable. Like that digital watchdog, remember? Making sure the rules are followed, kids are protected.
And that right to access information. Got to have that transparency. No more secrets. Families deserve to know how AI is